Hey everyone, welcome back to Thistle Hill Farmstead. I'm finally ready to start prepping our seating slash office area for tile. So the first thing I want to do is just clean the floor up, sweep it, and then I'm going to mop it to try to get some of this dirt that's on here off before I attempt to lay any tile. So let's get started. I just went and rinsed the water out a bit. Let's mop it again. That first water was just like red mud. Okay, this is round 3. Okay, I want to lay out some of the tiles here to see how many tiles are going to go across the floor. Now we're going to use some spacers also, 1/8 inch spacers in here, I believe. But I want to see, kind of get an idea of what I'm going to deal with here. I have to cut this one in the corner. So, and then we're going to stagger them also. But for right now, I'm just laying them out to see kind of what I'm going to have to work with. 1, 2, 3. Because I don't know if I'm going to have to cut one or not. If so, I want to cut the edges equally. Oh, got a broken one already. That's right in the middle of everything too. How did that happen? Wow. When you're buying tile, I've got that stack over there. I thought, wow, I got way too much. But you see, when you start laying it out, it doesn't go that far. already. Oh. Got a little chicken poo on this one. And if we have to cut, I'll probably do it over here behind this door in the refrigerator. But, you know, we're going to have stuff on this wall too, so I guess it really doesn't matter. It's going to be, both sides are going to be kind of hidden. Now, I'm not going to do laying them like this too. They'll be staggered. The seams will be staggered. But for this measurement purpose, I'm just laying them out side by side. So it looks like it's going to take 2 boxes to go across. Hey, is it gonna fit? No, see, I'm gonna have to cut a tile. So, as you can see over here, there's not a full tile there. So maybe what I'll do is cut a tile half and half. Yep, you just need to see what it's going to do. Okay, and then how many are going to go across the room? Let's see what we got. So it's always important to lay out your tile first before you start putting them down, just so you kind of know what you're going to do. Because the last thing you want to do is be laying your tile and then figuring out how you want to cut it. Mrs. Thistlehill is out there cutting the grass. That's what you hear. Okay. Today I'm ready to start laying some tile in our office slash seating area of the barn. So come along and we'll see if we can get some tile down. I mopped everything up and cleaned everything up and ran a scraper across the floor to try to get all of the debris up. I've walked around in here a bit, so there's some dirt in here that I have to get up before I start laying the tile. But what I wanted to show you is I laid down a test strip here, and this by no means is straight. Matter of fact, I can tell that it's crooked, but I wanted to lay this down and get an idea of the spacing of the tiles and the staggering of the tiles. So what I'm going to do is I'm using what they call the thirds. You can see this tile here is rather short. This one's a little bit longer, and this one is full length. And then that'll start over back there. And that gives me kind of a staggered running, unlike a running bond where you lay bricks where they're straight in between the tiles. I want this to look a bit like planks. So I just had to figure out how long each tile had to be. And you see there, I have this marked 7 3/4, 13 inches, and this is a full tile. The tiles are about 19 inches, almost 20 inches long. So, and then I went ahead and put the spacers in there too. These are leveling slash spacers. I put some in just so you could see kind of what they're going to look like. There's no mortar down. There's nothing going on here, but I did want to put the spacers in so I could get a true understanding of the length and how they're going to fall on the end. There's going to be a cabinet here, and the refrigerator is going to be here. So this is the end that I'm going to let kind of be a little jaggedy as far as these little baby pieces here. But down here on the sides that you're going to see, I'm going to go ahead and do this 1/3 kind of stagger step here. And also I laid tiles out across the length of the room, and it's going to be a little bit, again, the tiles don't fall exactly. So we've decided to use the short side over there and keep the full side here. So I'll work this way with a full side and go that way, or a full tile and go that way. So I've got that laid out, ready to go. I've got my spacers ready to go. I went and picked up some mortar, and this is what they call large format tile, LFT mortar. It's supposed to be a bit thicker. You see it says no sag, so that when you use the trowel to put it down, it doesn't, there's my other bags, it doesn't sag as quickly. And then I have my notched trowel over here somewhere. You see I got a bunch of sponges. I got a bunch more of these leveling tiles. Here you go. I had this one. This is one that we've done some backsplashes and stuff with. It's got a very small grout on it. Here's the one I'm going to be using for this tile. I think that is a 1/4 inch, 1/4 inch notch in there. So that's the one I'm going to be using for the tile here. I've got my little, got a tile saw, and I've got this little tile cutter here. Probably going to use the tile saw on some of it. I tried to cut some of these with the tile cutter, and it just didn't do as well as I thought it would. Here's the tile cutter. It's not a big one. It's not a very expensive one, but some of the tile didn't break evenly. And I've used this on thinner porcelain tile. I don't know about this type of tile that's kind of rough. Maybe it doesn't score it deep enough to get a good break, but we'll see how it goes. So I'm going to set things up, mix my mortar, and then we'll start on this back wall and take off. I'm going to get my laser out and just, I'm pretty sure this is straight or straight enough, but I'll put the laser here and just see what it looks like. So I've set my lasers down here, and I've got one on that end and one this end, because They really don't go across the room very well. And I've marked the distance of the width of these 4 tiles because that's about as much as I want to work with, and it's about as far as I can reach each time as I extend my arm out to spread the mastic and all. And I went ahead and marked a couple of lines with a pencil along this laser line here, so I can kind of keep everything straight. I need to take a tile and notch for this post here, and same thing over here, notch around this post, and before I get started. So let's do that. To mark this cut in the corner, I'm just going to set my tile here and move it back away from the wall a bit because I'm not going to push it all the way up to the wall. Then I'm going to just take my square and I'm going to come off of this a bit like that. And then I'll put it over here. And again, leaving myself some room from the wall. And do the same thing here. Leaving myself a bit, maybe a bit more I need to leave there. All right, and that is the part that I'm going to take out. And that'll give me get my starting tile there. And I've got my safety glasses on. Let's see, this thing's going to sling some water. All right. All right, let's see how we did here. Okay, so that's going to be a good starter right there. Okay. And I can see I'm going to need to trim this next one back to go around this door jamb. Or I could just let it be, but that's a little bit too much of a gap there. Even for some trim right here. Leave me a little bit of gap here. And this one just needs to be cut back a little bit. Let me see what I can do here. Measure so that I will all be the same. Should I go a quarter? That's a half. Maybe a quarter inch is good enough. Maybe a little bit more. Let's do maybe 3/8 or half. Yeah, that may do it for me. Let me cut that and see what it looks like. All right, let's see. Yeah, I think that'll be good. Half inch off. So I just need to cut those other ones. All right, time to mix up some mortar. I looked on the back of this package and it says to mix 6 quarts of water to 1 bag. I'm going to start out with like half a bag just to kind of see how this goes and how far it goes. So I'm going to do 3 quarts of water. So let's do this. Now, let's see, 3 quarts of water. And it does say put the water in first and then pour the mix in. Okay. There's 1. All right, let's see if I can get half of this bag in. I don't know if I can split it halfway, but we'll try. Oh, it's all running out the side here. So I got a hole in the side. See, is that about half a bag? Yeah, I think that's about half a bag. Let's see. Let's see what the consistency looks like. All right, let's get going. Let's see what we can do. Okay. All right. All right, let's start with our first tile. Let's see. Let's see. I'm gonna clean off around the grout line there. Now I may want to get a like a toothbrush to make sure I keep my grout lines clean. Forgot that. So I may go get that as soon as I get these down. Okay, I stopped to go get me a little brush and some water. I want to be able to get make sure I don't have a lot of mastic or glue down between the tiles. So it's good to take a little brush while you go before it all gets hard. Get it out. That's a great little brush because it's got little bristles on both sides. All right, that looks pretty good. I think I can keep going now. Before my mastic starts to get too thick, let me clean off this area here. Okay, let's keep going. To go out to there. Out to there. Okay. See if I have enough to do this. Yeah, I should. Well, it's the next day, and I am out here again. I stopped yesterday. I got a first row in back here. I'll show you that. And then I was getting tired, and it was the first attempt at getting everything straight. And I realized that it's very hard to lay the mastic down on the ground and then back butter the tiles at the same time and get it down without stuff drying. So I've recruited my wife, Mrs. Thistleheel, today to come out and back butter the tiles for me while I put them down. Now, if you've watched some of our other videos, we did our backsplash, and that's exactly what we did. She was back buttering the tiles, basically handing them over to me. I was putting them up. It worked like a charm. So I'm hoping that this will do the same. Let me show you what I've done this morning while I'm waiting on her. She's actually canning some pickles. We have a garden, as you know, and she got a bunch of cucumbers yesterday, so she wanted to go ahead and get those chopped up, put in the ice water so they're nice and crisp, and then she's going to do some canning later. But once she's finished with that, she's going to come out and help me. But let me show you what I've done so far. So yesterday I did this part, and then I just laid these tiles out so I could see what I needed to cut at the back. Now these are kind of odd looking at the back, but as I said, the refrigerator will be right there. The cabinetry will be right here. The only place you'll be able to see it is in front of the door. So I'll just have to live with that. But I did go ahead and cut all of my other pieces here to start the row. And you'll notice I did mark a line. I used my laser and marked a line on the floor so I can make sure I keep them straight this way so that my seams this way line up nicely, as well as, you know, keeping everything nice and straight this way. So yeah, that's a little more work than I expected it to be. Now these things, now that it's dried overnight, I can take these off. Basically, you just kick them and they come off. So I'm going to take these off so I can reuse the wedges. You cannot reuse the red things because they break off, obviously, but I can reuse the wedges. I did buy several packs of these. These are 100 pack. Bought 3 of these packs and 3 of these. I've almost used 100 of these already just for what a little bit I've done. So I'm probably going to have to go back and buy some more of those. The wedges I can reuse as long as I do a section at a time. So let's go ahead and kick up these wedges that are done, that are set. All right, so these things should just pop off. Well, there we go. These tiles are set over here. I guess it's best to kick them sideways like that. There we go. Hey, this is the fun part. That is about it. Yep. Okay. Oop, I missed one right there. Okay. Come out of there. And I popped a couple over here. All right. Yeah, this feels good. Right here. All right, let me pick these up. Then I'll wait for the missus to get out here. And we will start laying some more tile. Okay, guys, it's another day in the tiling of our office in the barn. You saw yesterday I did all of this tile work. Today I'm going to go ahead and kick up these spacers, clean up a little bit, and then I still have to finish right around the door over there and the wall. So let's see if we can finish up at least the tiling. And then, of course, we have to grout everything. All right, let's get the kicking. See, I've got quite a bit of mastic that came through on some of these. One of our mixes was really thin, which caused, when I put the tiles in, it caused it to squeeze through a little bit. So I'm going to have to clean that up. Now that they're all up, you've got the fun of separating all the little yellow pieces. My wife was calling them baby corns because they look kind of like a baby corn. I was calling them bananas. But now you got the joy of separating all of these banana pieces from the red pieces, which are trash, but you can reuse the little yellow pieces. So I'll do that and throw all those yellow pieces in a bucket. I won't bore you with that. Okay, I've got all the tiles cut and everything cleaned up back here. That's one problem with stopping in the middle of everything. If you don't clean up good when you stop, it's a lot of trouble when you don't. I cleaned up yesterday, but there's still little bits and pieces of mastic that you got to scrape up and just clean up. But I vacuumed everything up. We're ready to put these last little pieces of tile in. So let's do it and get done with tile laying for the meantime. Then we have to do the bathroom after this. Let's get going. Get my fan here. It's not so hot. Okay, Team Thistle Hill. There it is. This is done. At least laying the tile. I got those last pieces in. And now all there is to do is kind of clean up some of the joints and grout, which should be the easy part, I hope. Well, not cleaning up the joints, but grouting should be the easy part. Okay, everybody, that's it for tiling the floor. All the tiling is done now. I pulled up all the spacers and the levelers. Now what I need to do is go through and just clean up any of the grout lines so that when I do the grout, it'll go in properly. But that's not going to be for this video. This video's gotten plenty long enough. If you've hung in there this long, I really do appreciate it. Thanks for hanging in and watching the whole video. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, go ahead and hit that subscribe button right now. Right now, go do it right now. Really helps out a lot. If you like the video, of course, give it a thumbs up. And while you're down there hitting that subscribe button, go ahead and hit that notification bell so that anytime I post a new video, you'll get notified. Thanks again for joining us here at Thistle Hill Farmstead. We'll see you next time. Little thunder outside.